There's Jace Gentile, JB Weary, Emma Weary, Alec Weary, your current speaker, Courtney Crowder, Austin Little,
Hipster.
and your video man, Paul Weary.
Okay. So imagine it's a rainy and cold day, you're bored, you don't know what to do, and you're feeling kind of crafty. So you look on Pinterest, you don't know, like you don't have any of the materials of the jobs you want to do, so you go online and choose something else. And you see a flower made out of a water bottle. As interesting as that sounds, it's actually quite simple. It's easy to make, doesn't take very many materials, and it's easy to do. So as a future elementary teacher, these are the kind of projects that I kind of think about a lot. I do, and I mean, maybe they're future possibilities for my classroom. It doesn't require a lot of artsy talent, I guess you could say, so it's pretty easy for those who struggle with art, like I do. And so I'm going to talk about 3 things. The first is the materials to make the flower. The second one is how to make the proper cuts to make the petals. And the third is the materials you can use to decorate. So let's first talk about the flowers the materials you're going to need to make the flower. The first material you're obviously going to need is the bottle. You can use several types of bottles, big, small. The biggest, I guess, would probably be a 2-liter bottle. And here's also a small one you can also make. This flower is made out of a Pure Life regular sized bottle. So that's about the size you'll see. And so you can pretty much use any type of bottle. And it doesn't really matter if you have the cap or not. So, and then the other main material you need is scissors. So scissors to cut everything and shape your flower. And then there's also optional materials for decorating your flower, like tissue paper and markers. But we'll talk about that later whenever we talk about decorating. Okay, so now that you have the bottle, I'm going to use this as an example. You're going to cut around the edge, right where the top of the bottle meets the main part. So then after you make this cut, it's going to look like this. And after that, you're going to cut wherever you would like to make your petals. And this one already has lines in it, which you can use this, or you can make your own petals like I did right here. So now that your petals are separated, I only cut a few here, but now that you have some of them done, then you bend them back. You bend them back at like the base of the bottle where the cap is. So it looks more like a flower, kind of like this. And then, well, obviously this part, you can see that you have petals now. So now that you have your petals, and whenever you're done cutting all the petals and whatnot, it's time to decorate. Okay, so some of the main materials you can use to decorate are markers, Sharpies, and glitter. That's what I found the easiest. Paint also works, but it is really messy, and it doesn't tend to stay on very well. So markers, especially with kids, is probably the easiest thing you're going to use. It does kind of smear off, which is the bad part, but if you put tissue paper over the petals like I did on this one, the marker will stay on. Okay. And then Sharpie is also another option. It is better than markers. It stays on, but again, it's permanent, not really something you want to use with kids. And then glitter glue is kind of a girly thing, but it also stays on the best, but it takes a while to dry, so it's messy. Okay. So after you have that, then you want to make the middle of your flower. There are 2 different options, really. I used tissue paper, tore off tissue paper, colored it, and put it in the middle. I just balled it up in the middle and it makes the center. Or you could just take the cap and color the inside of the cap. Okay, so now that you have the rest of your flower, you want to have a stem so you can put it somewhere. And the easiest thing to use is a wire, or any type of wire really. Pipe cleaners are easier to use with children, but they aren't as stable and they won't keep their shape as much. So the easiest thing to do is the wire, so be careful. And so that's about all I have. Thank you for paying attention, and I hope you can now make a water bottle flower.
And you need everybody again.
Yes. I didn't get mine as good.
Yeah, I can help.
And the
Pooch.
big pooch. And I don't know if that would count as 7 if you want to count the dog or not. So.